Hey, it's Stan, Ro, Chino, and Emil from the longest-running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast, and we're so happy to announce that Wrestling Quiz Nights are finally back. Yes, we are doing it this September 23, and appropriately enough, we're calling it the Wrestling Quiz Night. The Wrestling Quiz Night. Chino, tell them more about it.
So usually, before the pandemic, we'd have these once in a while. It'd be your basic question and answer format and teams. But this time around, since I was put in charge, we're doing things a little differently. Yes, we are going to test you on your wrestling knowledge, but we will also test your wrestling fandom. What does that mean? Come and find out. This will be an interesting night of wrestling, shared love for professional wrestling on Saturday, September 23 at the Hobby Stadium.
Siyempre, pag may quiz night, meron din tayong mga papremyo. You can get these cool prizes from our friends and partners, a sensational Sherry action figure from Hobbyline Toy Store, and some wrestling t-shirts from Everybody's Toys and Collectibles, and from also our partners from Hobby Stadium. They got some WWE trading cards to give away, plus some GCs. So yun. So if you join in, you'll have fun, and then you also get the chance to win these cool, amazing prizes.
Yeah, and you can play by yourself, you can grab a friend, you can be a duo or a trio or even more. We don't care as long as you drop by and come by. You can also, just come and vibe with us if you don't want to play and feel the pressure of winning all these cool prizes. So once again, Hobby Stadium, New Manila, Doña Hemadi Street, and it's going to be September 23, 8 p.m. Tickets are 350 pesos. Just come in and walk by and we'll have some fun.
The Pod Network Entertainment.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Welcome to the big time!
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Star.
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles, and you are listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
You found the bonus episode where we talk about the stuff that we just didn't have time for on the live stream of the Wrestling Podcast. It's Stan, Ro, and Emil. And let's start with Becky Lynch, who is the NXT Women's Champion. And she's kind of the default Women's Champion na rin on Raw, at least for this week. Kasi na-sideline si Rhea Ripley in kayfabe by Nia Jax. And Nia's really been going on a rampage, no pun intended, by basically destroying every women's wrestler who's been in her path the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, people are complaining about it. I already talked about it last week, why we don't buy into that narrative. So, it's really good, though. They found a way to make the NXT Women's Championship a big deal by putting it on Becky Lynch, diba? So, it's a novelty for me, I think, to see the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT North American Championship defended on Raw. So talagang big deal na siya. Like, okay, this is what happens on NXT. These are the championships. So if you don't, watch NXT already, you should, right? So it's good promotion. And, one of those things that, okay, even when Vince rebranded to 2.0, he didn't really think of it. He didn't think of doing it this way. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is, again, very rare lang to mangyari na an NXT champion goes on Raw and, defends the title there. And ito na sinasabi ko last week na by Becky winning the title, she elevates the title in itself. Na just by the fact na siya yung champion, mas magiging bigger deal siya than before. And whoever defeats her for the title is gonna be a bigger. It's gonna be a big deal afterwards. Then, so this was a good showcase for the title, and she at this point she's like the ace of the women's division. If wala yung iba, they can always rely on her to give good promos, good matches. So she did
basically
great.
Trying break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah, at this point, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nila.
Yeah, Becky is their Mox. There was a report that came out right before Raw na si Tegan Nox dapat yung magiging challenger ni Becky Lynch kasi she had an open challenge on Raw, but it got scrapped, so hindi na si Tegan Nox as late as main event, which they tape right before Raw. So it was Natalia who answered the open challenge in case you didn't get to watch Monday Night Raw. So what did you think of that development?
When I saw it was Natalia, I thought it made sense because there was also a report over the weekend that said Natalia was being praised because Becky couldn't go to the India show on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So Natalia was the one who stepped up. So I think this was a thank you for Natalia, which is, I think it makes sense. And they addressed that in yung kind of elephant in the room when Becky said, okay, why are you here? This is for the kids, right? So you're not a kid, and the NXT championship is technically for the next generation.
Which is weird because Natalia actually challenged for the very first NXT Women's Championship.
Yes. Yeah, but that was sabagay, when that was
Vet na siya noon, 2014.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Pero now she's even older, so it doesn't even make it doesn't make even more sense here. Siya yung magcha-challenge. So, but it's nice. I liked it. It was pretty quick. It wasn't really much. It was just really done to get the championship on the Raw card. So okay lang din. Maybe there's like one more Raw before No Mercy. So maybe Tegan Nox can still get her championship shot.
I really wish it could have been Tegan kasi also like Becky, when Tegan was a prominent figure in NXT, she wasn't able to win the NXT championship. So that could have been a little nice story there. Now I also wasn't able to win the title, and now she would get this opportunity to win the NXT championship. So it would have been nice. And again, the title is for, like Becky said, is for the kids. But I like I like the Natalia replacement. Ang pinagtataka ko lang is the last time I saw Natalia was she was a babyface, but here in this segment she was kind of heelish. So napaisip ako, did she turn heel before this? But apparently, she didn't pala. So it was just that was just weird. But again, siguro because she was challenging Becky, that she has to be the de facto heel. I don't think it was a heel turn.
I don't think she turned heel. I think she
yun na nga eh.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I'm being overlooked. So so I'm tired of being overlooked, diba? So she was frustrated, diba? So she called her a ginger witch, which is a really weird insult then.
Yeah. Then again, it's probably based on yung joke, diba, na gingers have no soul. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I don't know, man. I did not write that line. But yeah, see, Natalia, I think just based on my observation of the way that she's been booked, she's the type of vet na they slot her in literally any role as necessary. Like if they need her to be the underdog babyface against Rhea Ripley, bam, that's her. If they need her to be the angry vet, the angry wrestling vet of the women's division, bam, that's her, right? So at this point, I think she's really just there to play whatever role is assigned to her. Diba? Put me in, coach.
Yeah, she's the Udonis Haslem of the women's division. I always use Udonis Haslem as a comparison, pero yeah, naisip ko lang ngayon.
Okay, not to laugh at like UD and Natalia, but they are kind of the same age.
Exactly. Yeah.
They've also been in the business for right around the same amount of time.
Yes, that's how I made a comparison. Yeah, very, very reliable.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here and talk about the next WWE PLE. That's Fastlane, happening on October 7 in the US, October 8, Sunday, Manila time. Medyo wala pa siyang build, outside of the Nakamura versus Rollins rematch, which they have been establishing. Parang di pa natin alam what other matches yung ilalagay nila sa card. So, what matches do you see na magiging part nitong PLE na to? Is there gonna be Chad Gable versus Gunther again? Is there a Judgment Day match?
I'm thinking after Raw, after Raw and SmackDown this week, I was thinking of actually two matches that can be in the Fastlane PLE. One is, I think they're building up to this, which is Ciampa versus Gunther. Since we're gonna discuss Chad Gable in a few minutes, but based on the vignettes and the match on Raw between between Champa and Vinci, that is likely where we are headed. And another one, pero parang this I feel like this match is too big for Fastlane. But after SmackDown, I was thinking maybe we'll get a tag match between Cena and Styles versus Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. That's a possibility as well. So as of right now, yun pa lang yung naisip ko na pwedeng maging matches on Fastlane.
Yeah, if you're looking for a traditional build-up, no, okay, ito yung match, tapos ito yung we're gonna tell the next 2 weeks worth of story na they're gonna get angrier at each other, diba? I like what they're doing here. It's actually this one is actually more aligned with how Tony Khan books stories right now. So ang ginagawa niya, and what people don't kind of understand here, is that they tell the stories naturally. They naturally build up yung mga alitan, yung mga feuds, yung mga rivalry. And then once they get to that critical mass before they get to the climax, they'll book the match. So you get like Ciampa inserting himself with the whole thing, and then they don't make the match just yet, but it's headed there, diba? Or AJ Styles and Jimmy Uso, diba? The match isn't made, but once it is like closer to the pay-per-view, you know that okay, this made sense. This was where it was going, diba? I like that because it places yung carrot firmly in front of the horse instead of the other way around. I think the horse ends up being first, diba? When you make the match first and then you build up the next few weeks trying to escalate things instead of letting it naturally progress there. So I don't mind this at all. Like I think Nakamura versus Rollins, because it was the only story that really carried over from the last pay-per-view, diba? So the others weren't as much. Like Rhea sidelined. Maybe they'll get the Rhea Nia Jax match. I think we'll get Jey Uso versus Finn Balor, because they've been doing the Jey Uso versus Judgment Day thing.
Yeah.
So either Jey Uso versus Finn Balor or Damian Priest. So either one of those. So
the reason I'm bringing this up is because we're at a point where itong mga WWE PLEs, they can sell tickets even if wala pang match.
Yeah.
It's not just WrestleMania anymore, or the Royal Rumble, or like the big 4 or 5. Even a PLE like Fastlane or Payback, they can sell tickets and they can get you to be aware and excited for the PLE, even though you have absolutely no idea kung anong matches or sinong wrestlers yung nakabook dun.
Yeah, I think this is a Triple H effect. Where dati nung panahon ni Vince, okay, the brand will kind of sell itself, but it still needs a big push. Now, because Triple H is doing great, you can, the WWE can roll in and they can expect a good, the home crowd will expect a good show. Kasi, you get 3 hours or maybe a little under 4 hours of good action. It's not overstuffed. You won't get a pay-per-view card that's crammed to the gills with some short matches and silly results, diba? So I think that afforded Triple H a little more leeway to tell his stories. So that's pretty cool, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Sige, Emil, go.
No, same thing. I mean, kasi nakikita na ng mga tao na the PLEs ever since Triple H took over are really good. No matter kung sino yung ilagay sa card, a PLE the PLEs are really good. So parang may trust na yung mga tao sa WWE na it doesn't matter how many matches or who's in the card, the PLEs will always deliver. And that's a good thing. That's a goodwill then on the part of the WWE.
All right. So let's talk about Chad Gable now. Gable is still on the way back up, diba? Right after he lost to Gunther, and then now he's got Ciampa, who presents himself as another challenger for the Intercontinental Championship. What do you think about this development? Now he lost to Bronson Reed on Monday Night Raw.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it kasi you need to build him back up kasi he just lost to Gunther a few weeks ago. So I'm fine with it's now the it's now the struggle before getting back on that mountain again. And like I said, I think it was last week or the other week, na they can't mess this up. Na they have built such momentum for Chad Gable, and then they won't do anything about it. They're not gonna capitalize on it. I'm sure they're gonna capitalize on it, pero it will come in time, sa tamang panahon, as we say. So I'm fine with it. It's definitely they're setting up something for his comeback, and yung Ciampa feud is maybe only parang ano lang yun, a short program for Gunther before, para hindi rin magsawa yung mga tao sa Gable Gunther feud. So so put Ciampa in first, and then they will eventually return to that story at some point. Maybe at Mania, or maybe at Royal Rumble, diba?
I don't know. I didn't like it, actually. Not because I don't like Bronson Reed. I'm a fan of that guy. Pero this is your hot dude, like right now. Like, you made him a made man after the whole Gunther thing. Like, he already suffered a big loss, 2 big losses actually, and then he won a 6-man tag. Then all of a sudden he loses. Parang it felt like Vince was doing something here backstage. I wouldn't be surprised if we read a report eventually that said, okay, Vince rewrote some things here. So it was weird because I didn't think he needed that loss, and especially it was a David and Goliath match, but I didn't think he needed that sudden loss, diba? Like, I don't care. Yes, I agree that sometimes you do need a setback to set up a comeback, but this wasn't it. I didn't think it was it. Like, if you wanted to build Bronson Reed, a whole bunch of other guys to do it. Like, squash Tozawa again, diba? Do that.
Kawawa naman si Tozawa. Sad na nga siya eh.
Yeah.
0-4 na nga siya eh. So, no, but I don't know. I think the minimum they could do was, continue the momentum that Chad Gable had, instead of starting all over again. Even though it wasn't supposed to be square one, because he won last week. So I don't know what's up with that. Parang, okay, Chad Gable lost and then Ciampa wins, diba? So I didn't think that was the right move. I hope that this was like a one-time thing, because otherwise, if Bronson Reed doesn't go anywhere after this, like, what was the point then? What was the point of all this? Just to show now, okay, Bronson Reed is big and he will, physically dominate a smaller guy. Diba? So if that was the whole plan for this particular loss, then what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah, I can see why you would be asking those questions, especially since Chad Gable was basically that guy. He was the guy being built to really take down Gunther after this very dominant reign. So, di ko rin alam. It's one of those things now. We'll see what happens, especially since unpredictable din with Ciampa in the picture. I can't shake the feeling na maybe we're moving on from Chad Gable and now Ciampa's that guy. I don't know. I hope not, because I really like the idea of Chad Gable finally getting his moment in the sun. All right.
Yeah.
Let's stick to WWE before we go to AEW, kasi mas malaking bagay yung sa AEW. Let's do a quick recap of the final week nitong Global Heritage Invitational. So the tournament's basically like a mini G1, and as we mentioned earlier, si Tozawa's already out of the running in his group. He lost all of his matches. Sina Butch and Tyler Bate, they also had a very fun match on NXT. I really loved yung references on commentary to their history, dating back to Progress and then NXT UK. And then it really made the match mean so much more than just a finals match in the group phase of the tournament. And then on the other side, when Duke Hudson got his win over Joe Coffey, sobrang ganda rin na they were able to lead into a triple threat match that was happening right then and there, with a very tuliro Nathan Fraser being like, okay, now na, okay, takbo na. So I really enjoyed this tournament. Ang hindi ko na lang napapanood pa is that Tyler Bate and Charlie Dempsey match. So I know I have to catch up and catch that.
It's really quick. It's super quick. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. The reason I'm saying all of this is that I want more. I want more of this Global Heritage Invitational tournament. Right. Can we please do this every year? Please, please, please.
That's what I said last week. Sorry, go ahead.
Even though sobrang nabitin ako with this tournament kasi again, this made me watch NXT more regularly than I did in months past because you're guaranteed to always have a great match in this tournament. Kasi again, you don't really need a storyline. You don't need any context before to watch the matches, and sobrang galing ng mga matches, and the wrestlers that they had on the pool this year are really good. Guys from NXT UK, we even had Duke Hudson in there and Tozawa to add in more spice, and I'm glad to see, even though his name is Butch. When I saw him in the match against Tyler Bate, I couldn't help but to see that was the bruiserweight beat done that I knew from years ago. And he acted the same way as he would back then as Pete Dunne. And that match was really fantastic. Probably my favorite of the tournament so far. I mean, I'm sure for a lot of people that was also their favorite match of the tournament. And the triple threat match was great as well. Although nagtataka ako because usually in a tiebreaker, it would be determined as to who beats who. Pero
yeah, because they all beat one another.
Oh, yeah.
So logical naman siya eh. Wala namang point differential, walang quotient, di ba? Di naman to FIBA.
Yeah, so it was also a nice touch that they decided the winner of the other group in another triple threat match. So next week is going to be the finals between Butch and Joe Coffey, and I'm okay with the final. I'm okay with the finals. I'm okay with the winners of each group. I mean, Butch is someone from the main roster, so that, I mean, in essence, dapat lang siya yung manalo sa group niya because he's coming down to NXT to compete here. Kind of the same with Becky Lynch coming
Basta
down.
Tozawa.
Okay. I'll give you that. He was poor guy. Poor guy went 0-3. Yeah, Tozawa is more the exception than the norm. So, with other side Joe Coffey, he's I like the decision as well. I would have preferred Nathan Fraser honestly to be the winner of that other group, but I'm fine. They're gonna deliver this Wednesday. Ito bang finals match? May time limit pa din to, or like, whoever.
I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I'm assuming na meron pa rin because it's part of the tournament.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't it have a time limit?
That's true. And what like I said, G1 Climax finals is 60 minutes. I don't know, compared to the group stage matches, which are 20 minutes long.
Yeah. So, diba? So let's see. Let's see what will happen this Wednesday. And I think we can pencil this now. Now, whoever wins this will probably win the Heritage Cup because they wouldn't go all through all this. The winner doesn't win the Heritage Cup.
Let's watch you eat shit next week, Emil.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, did you see Noam Dar do a Keanu Reeves this week?
Yeah,
that was pretty fun.
That was so good.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things from NXT this week. Okay, call your shot, boys. Who is winning the Global Heritage Invitational?
No, wait. I wanted to say something real quick. I found it funny that there were two Group B matches this week. Kasi parang inamin nila na okay, Group A was literally the side A of the pool, and then Group B was the lesser star power group. So you had to make up for it with two okay matches. So the triple threat put in was so good with Joe Coffey winning. My pick is Butch. I mean, at this point, why not? Diba? This is you might as well do the UK pro wrestling scene match.
Same thing. I'll go with Butch kasi might as just well kasi you had Becky go down and win the women's championship. You had Dominic go down and win the North American championship. Why not Butch have a crack at the Heritage Cup? Kasi di naman naabutan ni Butch yung original Heritage Cup sa NXT UK because by the time he was already on the American NXT and on the main roster. So why not have Butch have a reign for the Heritage Cup? So I'll go with Butch.
All right. I think we're in the season where main roster stars are getting to hold NXT championships. I guess to lend prestige and give it a bit of a rub, brother. So that's where we're at. Okay, let's go to AEW and talk about the Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho match and the subsequent turn where Sammy joins the Don Callis family. So, I don't know about you guys, pero nung nakita ko na yung ring gear ni Sammy Guevara was a reference to Chris Jericho's ring gear nung WrestleMania 19, and then Excalibur pointed it out on commentary, I was like, he's going to do the Chris Jericho turn kay Shawn Michaels. Dun pa lang parang na-spoil na ako. This is gonna happen. And then when they did the hug, they did it exactly the way that HBK and Jericho did in 2003. So, it's not that I'm complaining, it's just that I could kind of see it from a mile away. And I don't know yet how I feel about Sammy Guevara joining the Don Callis family.
Say go ahead, Emil.
The execution of that turn was really even though I saw it like with you, Stan, when he entered with the I noticed na his gear kind of looks familiar to me, and then he pointed it out that it was the gear that he wore against HBK at WrestleMania 19, and then dun pa lang, okay, I got it. He's definitely, we're definitely gonna get a turn here. It's gonna be inspired of that. The execution of the turn was great, pero the thing kasi is, Sammy Guevara coming into this match, he's already turning babyface. He had moments with Darby Allin, like he's parang papunta na siya doon Papunta na siya ito, baby. And you could see the crowd getting behind him again. So, questionable yung decision to turn him heel, but the execution was really good. So, moving forward, I'm interested to see how are they going to pull this off, because honestly, medyo tired na ako with the heel Sammy Guevara. I want him to be a babyface again.
I felt like Sammy was trying to do so well as a face. Parang medyo awkward pa rin siya, pero I could see him being earnest with his attempt to characterize himself. I don't know, he's having a kid, right, with Ty.
Yeah.
So I thought he was doing okay with it, and I wanted him to push a little more. But I guess Jericho is also pretty compelling as a face. But given name, Jericho's a good actor. He's a good character, diba? Sayang lang. I wanted to ask you guys something. So there are a shit ton of callbacks in AEW lately. So what do you guys think of this? I can say that we posted the Samoa Joe thing a couple of weeks ago, and it's still going crazy on our social media. And then
Hindi lang yun, yung si MJF tinutulak ni Samoa Joe. That's also still getting notifs and shit.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, sorry.
So some people are saying that AEW can't do something without referencing WWE or stuff like that. So obviously we know, you and I, we all know that this isn't just an AEW to WWE thing. Parang anytime you have the opportunity to call back to history, you take it, kasi syempre you're bound to pop a fan who knows what you're doing and does the Leo meme, diba? So the pointing at the TV meme, diba? So what do you guys think? Kasi right now si AEW ang madalas gumawa nito eh. So they've been doing it more than WWE has lately. So what do you guys think? Is it doing too much to parang pop themselves and pop, fans from 10 years ago? Is this starting to get overused? Do you want to see more of it? Kasi,
sige, Emil muna.
You wanna catch the reference and feel good about catching the reference?
I'm okay with it in small doses. Yung once in a while they will do something to pop us with they will do a callback to pop us. I'm okay with it. Pero kung every week, like it's getting too much if it's every week. Right now I'm definitely fine with it kasi di naman every week, and whenever they would reference anything, I will immediately get it kasi alam din nila yung target market nila. It's mostly people who grew up in the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era. So, yung mga references nila, time din naman with their audience, which I like. It's hindi siya yung kailangan ko pang i-research kung ano yung kino-callback niya before ko magets.
No, I mean, if you're a kid now, diba, you would have to research it because if you're like a teenager at in this year, diba?
Yeah, you wouldn't get the Bret Hart reference from MJF kanina.
Yeah, so yun lang. I'm okay with the small doses. And right now, hindi pa naman siya nagiging too much for me.
Oh, really?
Okay, I think it's too much. I
MJF
think it's
almost
too much.
every week.
Oh,
Wow. Sige, go.
I think it's too much. I think we jumped the shark this week. With the Samoa Joe and Steiner math promo, dun masaya pa ako eh. Kasi it made sense in the context of facing Samoa Joe. Plus, I get the reference. I'm like, ha, that's great. I love it, right? But then now that you have an entire reel, like tayo on Instagram, we have so much content based on these callbacks alone. I'm not saying I'm not grateful na nagkakaroon tayo ng a bit of content and with that, a bit of clout. That being said, there's too much going on, man. I need AEW to kind of slow down with all the callbacks. Callbacks in the ring, yung mga sequences and everything, that happens a lot there, regardless of promotion, as you pointed out, Ro. But like with these promos and vignettes and all of that stuff, yung mga skits or whatever, yun, I think kailangan muna pumreno. Let us miss it before you bring it back again. Everything in moderation, di ba? Yun yung sinasabi nila. So I think AEW's at a point where they are giving us too much of this stuff, and I think we just need to chill the F down.
Actually, I just thought about this right now as we were having this conversation. So, ang napansin ko is it's not AEW as a whole, but just MJF.
Yeah, you know, I was just about to say the same thing.
The thing is, ever since MJF turned face, if this is a legit face turn, parang ang na-identify niyang way to connect with the crowd was to, give them references to wrestling they've seen in the past, in decades past. So parang to figure out, okay, this is where, the angry villain origin story was the crutch for heel MJF. I think now the constant references to old wrestling is now the crutch for face MJF. And parang you were doing so well when you were, exploring the depths of your ability to build a friendship with Adam Cole.
Yeah, when he was goofing around with Adam Cole, diba? At the gym or like at the restaurant or whatever. Why not more of those?
So, ngayon, he found the kangaroo kick. He did the double clothesline. The Steiner math promo.
Why can't MJF piss off bitchy-ass Roderick Strong in the hospital? That would be just as funny as, Mom, Dad, I'm adopted, diba?
Yung Samoa Joe callback was fine because it involved Joe, literally them, the two of them.
Yes.
The Sammy Guevara and Jericho callback is fine because it literally the callback involved Jericho.
Yes.
So, yun okay pa eh. But when you're literally pulling out of your fandom, which is, I guess, your babyface origin story now at this point.
That's where we draw the line.
Yeah.
Or that's where I would draw the line.
I don't know if I'm drawing the line just yet, but as the guy who does the social media content for our TikTok and Reels, parang okay, at some point, at this point, somebody's gonna see right through the shit and say, okay, now we're just posting all the callbacks MJF is doing, and then hoping they go viral like Samoa Joe did.
Right.
So you know what? It's not that I don't like it. I mean, syempre, who doesn't love a good callback that you understand, diba? Pero syempre, you just don't like running the risk of being a one-trick pony, which has always been the play for MJF. Because, the whole dick thing was his one-trick pony, and now this is going to be his new one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Saka di lang when he turned even when he was still a heel, remember whenever he's up against someone who is a very, like CM Punk, and I noticed this against CM Punk and who's the other one? Adam Cole, when they first feuded, he would always call back to a lot of WWE references, especially in his promo exchanges with Punk back in 2 years ago. So ito talaga yung siguro character niya.
Pero ito cheap pop na talaga. This is for the literal cheap pop kasi he's trying to go over as a face, diba?
Yeah. So,
I think back then you can still say that was in service of whoever he was feuding with.
Yeah.
So kayo, listeners, where do you draw the line? At what point do you say tama na, sobra na? Because I think Ro and I, we've kind of figured out our saturation point dito sa podcast, and it didn't really hit me, at least, until Ro pointed it out. So let us know what you think, along with everything else that we talked about here.
Sorry for ruining it.
Yes, please apologize.
Sorry, if you guys feel ruined by it too because I pointed it out, I'm sorry. I noticed these things.
Glass.
Nabasag yung glass.
So, good luck na lang kung di pa kayo glass shattered, alright? Hit us up at Wrestling2XPod on Twitter and on TikTok with all of your thoughts. In the meantime, on behalf of Ro Moran and Emil Nate, my name is Stan, and this little quickie episode of the Wrestling Podcast is in the books. Stay safe, stay healthy, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast out. Bye-bye.
Peace.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company,